Hello, and welcome to another board game publisher live chat, the stream on Fridays, or whenever you're watching this. I'm Peter Vaughan at Cardboard Alchemy, and I've got Rosie Pocket with us, our communications manager, and we're going to just chat with you about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about Flamecraft, you want to talk about Critter Kitchen, because that's the game we're just releasing right now. You want to talk about Andromeda's Edge? I got my Andromeda's Edge shirt on. Or heck, we could talk about Mission Catastrophe, or we could talk about Flamecraft Duels, which is the game we just announced we're going to make next. Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, as well. We're going to chat with you about if anyone's gaming for Valentine's Day and what games you're playing. Be sure to ask whatever questions you've got. We'll be happy to answer them about any of the games we're talking about, or what gaming in general, design, development, anything really. Crowdfunding. So, we had some people who played Duels today in our Discord. We basically have a lot of fun things happening in our Discord. We have Facebook groups where we do a lot of fun things as well. And so I know that some people tried Duels today, this morning. And we have, thanks Ellie for shouting it out too. And I know Axel has a burning question about the most important thing about this new campaign. Are we getting puzzles? So let me explain something about Flamecraft Duels, which we'll put the link in this show and we'll tell you all about Duels. Duels was just announced on Kickstarter to launch on April 29th of this year. Duels is a 2-player pattern matching. Basically, it's set in the Flamecraft world, but it's a little bit of an abstract game where 2 players try and make patterns of dragons. Each dragon has a power. So when you play that dragon, you're going to activate its power and you're going to try and get your combos. It is not our typical Kickstarter. And I will say that the reason for that is that we have a bigger one, an even bigger one coming. So what we're doing with Duels is kind of it's a quick, smaller, because it's a smaller game, it's going to be a smaller Kickstarter. We're not going to do stretch goals. We're not going to do puzzles. I know that could seem like, there's no puzzles, but it's going to be real quick and simple. Like, we're going to offer past promos. We're going to offer new promos. We're going to offer a new plush. We're going to offer the art book. We're going to offer a couple other surprises along the way, but we're going to mostly have a fun way for every Flamecraft fan to catch up on all the things that they missed, and also a lot of fun new content, including all of the new promos are going to be put into a product called Dragons and Dragons, which Manny came up with and was super excited. I really love that. So we're going to make this little bundle of new stuff. And it's not one of our typical campaigns. We're not doing a stretch goal thing. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to put more effort on community-based things. We're going to talk to Sandara. We're going to talk about the sequel to Flamecraft. We're going to reveal High Dragons and what they do, and we're going to talk all sorts of different. We're going to reveal things during the campaign. So it's going to be a lot of fun, though, because we always try and do campaigns that are fun, regardless of the fact of whether they have a giant stretch goal map that goes on until infinity, and regardless of whether or not we do a lot of pre-launch puzzles. We are still going to bring our A game as far as fun, interactive campaigns that you definitely don't want to miss. In fact, you don't want to miss this one because this will be deluxeified Flamecraft Duels with fancy tokens and quality clacky components and all sorts of stuff that it may not be in the retail version. So we don't want to miss it. Let's bring on Rosie so that we could get organized and find out what we're doing next and also talk to all of you. Hi, Rosie. Wait, you have no idea where we're going.
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, we're yapping about whatever subject people want to yap about is what we're doing. We can talk about this. Look at this. Oh my God, Critter Kitchen.
Is that the big one or the little one?
Oh, this is the regular size box. We make regular size boxes once in a while. Apparently,
it's that overlap time that we get where we have just announced a project. The project is fulfilling, and people are still getting retail copies of Andromeda's Edge, and some people are still there are dregs of people in faraway places that are still getting their stuff. So yeah, so many things. But yeah, many of you hopefully saw Venus, which is the first High Dragon reveal for Duels.
What's a High Dragon?
A high dragon is the way my computer doesn't want me to spell hydrogen, because over the last like been going, you mean hydrogen, Rosie? And I'm like, no, I mean hydrogen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a dual dragon. So
Yeah.
as many people know in Flamecraft, you have 6 different artisan dragon types, but high dragons are a combination of 2. They are dual dragons.
So that means that there's a bread meat.
Yep.
And a meat, and Venus is a meat plant dragon, which
Indeed.
like a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I was like, it's a Venus flytrap, right? And Sundar was like, yeah, because it's like a meat-eating plant. Which I've actually killed Venus flytraps. I'm not really looking after them. Apparently, there's like special food, and I thought this is going to be great.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of flies. No, just gave up. Sadly.
Hey, look at that! You have someone who backs you up on this. My keyboard just tried to change Hydreigon to hydrogen also. Well, great. We're going to make hydrogen dragons next.
I'm going to go in and change it to autocorrect hydrogen to Hydreigon so that it stops itself.
It's good to have you on the stream. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Someone right now is using the Lily recipe for the cookies. They just posted on their stories. Let's give the recipe a go. And I'm like, refresh. What the hell?
Yeah, this is exciting.
It's really exciting.
I mean, the merch feast, which happens to be Critter Kitchen Deluxe plus all the add-ons that we made, is pretty exciting to see people get their hands on. Because, for example, we made this like giant bag, like this thing. I'm so excited. I've been walking around with this for a year, taking this to board game conventions. I mean, I know and people are going to be able to take this to grocery stores as well, depending on how you want to use it. But that bag, I'm so excited that bag is getting out there.
I use it for the most boring thing. So my food delivery gets delivered downstairs. I live upstairs.
Yeah.
But because they don't come into my house, I have to take the shopping, put it on the stairs. So I put it into the bag, and then I carry the bag up the stairs, and then I come back to
that works.
I need a pulley system. So
you wouldn't beat out any of the other chefs if they were going to grab your ingredients with that.
I'm so much slower than a boar. Like I'm literally, but I do pick up 15 ingredients at once.
Yay! I love the fact that the bag is appreciated.
That's awesome.
The other thing that I've actually had, I've mentioned this on the stream before, but I've had the oven mitt. I've been the only one with an oven mitt for about 12 months. And I've been cooking with it, and I've been like, I've been in my kitchen, and I got this oven mitt, and I'm like, this is a beautiful oven mitt, and no one else has had it. And now people have one for themselves.
I mean, we got this lovely video of someone unboxing theirs, and they posted a TikTok, and they're just like hugging the oven mitt.
That's nice. Now there'll be someone who watches the stream and say, wait a minute, I don't have my bag yet, I don't have my oven mitt yet. That is totally normal. I know it doesn't feel normal, and every day we get someone like, where's mine? That is also normal, but I want to assure you that this is just the beginning of fulfillment. The US fulfillment is on week number 1 of like 8. Week of 1 of 8. So it's very, very likely that a lot of people don't have it yet. That is, we're going to take care of that. We're going to rush these out there. There's people in Mexico that write every day. We are working hard to get the product to Mexico to get that taken care of. We're going to do an update that covers exactly where everybody is, because we hear from probably every country, like, hey, I'm in Italy, where's mine? Literally right after a post that says, I'm in Italy, I just got mine. And it's one of those magical moments of this time where everyone who was on the campaign and was maybe asleep is suddenly waking up going like, wait, the critters are here. Oh man, I'm so excited. But we can't get them all delivered on the exact same day. We have not invented Santa Claus technology yet.
No, that would be beautiful.
So we have to go one. We have to literally, I mean, I think the US sends like several hundred a day. Hold on one second. I have a visitor. You can just leave that over there, please. I will bow out from all.
Is it Critter Kitchen? I love that. He's got to deal with it now. So quick. Everyone get your questions in, because I'm doing this thing where I put a little star next to your questions so I can ask Peter them. But thank you very much for asking questions.
Sorry about that. We are in a working office here where we've got a lot of packages coming in because we're going to go to Gamma next week. God, there's so many topics we could get into. But let's get back to Critter Kitchen and deliveries. We'll do an update that says, here's where we are in each country, so that if you are wondering about if you should be worried, the answer is you shouldn't be worried. You should just relax, play some other games, and then your game will arrive when it is destined to arrive. There is obviously a moment where you're like, if you haven't seen it, maybe you haven't filled out your shipping. And then obviously if we put a last call or something, hey, if you haven't gotten it by now, then now is the time to write us. Otherwise, writing into us or Spiral Galaxy to say, where is my individual order, probably just slows it down. Like, in other words, just let us cook. And then we will get there.
Absolutely. It's not been very long that it started. It feels like everyone's getting them when you see posts, but it's really still like a small group of people compared to the 14,000 orders that are going out.
Yeah. We are so excited though, because what comes after this are going to be not only just posts of cookies being baked, but also questions about the gameplay, because a lot of people have not played as many matches against Peter or Alex that we have, and they're going to be saying, wait a second, like, how does this work? How does that work? We're building up a frequently asked questions, which we're going to post over on BGG, and then that will also be answering those kind of things on Facebook, which will mean that if you have any confusion at all, we're here. You could probably find my phone number somewhere and text me at any hour of the day with a question, and I'll answer it. I was just like, what?
Nope, not me.
I actually, I don't get bothered by, DMs or messages or things or questions. I did say this on the stream one time. I left my phone number inside a library copy of my first game at BGG saying, like, listen, text me with any questions. I did get about 15 texts during the convention, but I was super excited every time. It was like, hey, how does this character work? And I was like, oh, that's the best one. Here's what you do. Anyway.
I don't mind messages and DMs. It's no texting, because I would wake up. We were just joking. We were making like business cards for Gamma, and Peter's like, should we put your number on? I went, just because I'm in a completely different time zone, maybe that's a terrible idea, because I would get a phone call at like 4 a.m. But normally, yes, I don't mind people messaging, and many of this group have talked to me at a very inhuman hour of the day. I do have some Critter Kitchen little pictures I can share from the group.
Yes, we have a new segment that Rosie has put into the stream, which is that we like to share. If you're sharing with us, we're going to share back, and we're going to show pictures of people who have posted in our Facebook groups. And we have some fun ones. Usually this is one of the most exciting times, because people take all sorts of cool pictures of their stuff.
So I'm going to start with Critter Kitchen.
Okay, Critter Kitchen.
Love this. That's a huge critter.
And a new critter in the kitchen. I love that. I love that so much. It's so adorable.
This is from Shelley.
This is Goose. She later clarified in this post. This is Goose. Goose took over.
Goose, like from Miss Marvel. There's a cat that eats that like has tentacles and eats things. Yeah. It's in Marvel, but yeah, I think it's called Goose. Maybe I'm going wrong. But yeah,
the cat approves. Now the cat can carry a lot of different ingredients and then run away.
Flurkin. It's a Flurkin.
Hugger Gamer. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Flurkin.
It's what the cat is.
Oh, it's what the species is. I got it. Yes. Okay. Thanks everyone in the chat for getting us right up to the speed. I mean, we shouldn't make sci-fi games apparently if we don't know these things.
You got to get in with Marvel, clearly. Another post was from Angelica, and I'm in such a funk right now, and organizing this box has brought me so much joy I cannot explain. So satisfying and therapeutic. Everything is chef's kiss. I love it.
I love that one because that's chaotic as all get out, but it is so magical because you see the stars, you see the trays, you see the rule books, you see the cards. It's such a beautiful picture of what happens to your kitchen after you make waffles or something. Like it's exactly, it just encapsulates everything that we put into this game. I love this picture.
They're actually very organized. Everything is in its right places. They just got to get it back in the box. Should have seen my sofa, because I did unboxing in my lounge, which is the best lighting. My sofa was just covered in meeples and rule books flying. Yeah,
that's part of the fun. Someone said, someone was like, "Oh my god, this took me an hour." I was like, it does take a little bit of time, but it's like it's a magical discovery. We give you the longest Kickstarter page and the longest box openings. Hopefully, once you get used to it, the shortest. It's not that long to put it back away, but we try to give you all the fun of kickstarting a board game. I mean, this thing got created based on like fan support and willing it to happen, and look what all the things we made. This is exciting.
It's very cool. And then for Andromeda's Edge, Nathan shared that we are now ranked 387 overall.
Ooh,
Incredible. We're getting there, only a matter of time before the top 100. Don't forget to rate it on BGG. I didn't say it, he said it, okay?
Yeah. A fun fact about that, Andromeda's Edge is ranked 387 out of all the board games on Board Game Geek, which I believe there's like 70,000 to 100,000 games listed in the database. And so we're ranked 387th over all of them. But I have another fun fact about this. Flamecraft, I think, is 377. So we're about to meet our two last games. Critter Kitchen's our latest game, but like the Flamecraft and Andromeda's Edge are about to meet on the listings at BGG.
Is one gonna hop over the other, or are they sort of clash? What kind of mechanic are we talking about?
We're talking about sort of a leapfrog mechanic. I know that Flamecraft has found its home in the top 500, and we're super proud of that. I fully am encouraging our Andromeda's Edge baby to go far deep into the top 100 if possible. I would love to see.
Where's Dwellings now?
Dwellings, I think, was about to crack the top 100.
The Great Conjunction. Trial by Stone.
There we go. So Board Game Geek tends to be a little bit more weighted towards the heavier games, and I think Andromeda's Edge has got all the chances in the world to go all the way into the because we're still on the hotness. This is crazy. Is BGG has a top 50 hotness. Andromeda's Edge has remained in that hotness for every day since September. It's kind of ridiculous. We're blown away by the love of that game. And so we're going to celebrate it as it goes. Maybe we'll have some big party when it hits the top 100.
Everyone play Andromeda's Edge on the same day at the same time.
Boom! Yes, everyone make a forum post about your favorite faction in Andromeda's Edge. Boom, all at once. Boom.
It's just stayed there. It's amazing.
I have something to share on Andromeda's Edge. Do you mind if I share something on the stream for Andromeda's Edge?
No.
I'm gonna do full video for this though. I'll bring you back 1 second. I have to show this because this was painted by a fan, especially for Luke and for our office. This is gorgeous. This is one of the most beautiful things took our miniatures. This is by Steve. I can't pronounce his last name. Drew Hott, I think, or if I butchered it, I apologize, Steve. Steve did these lines on these miniatures that are indicative of sort of the shape of the, like for example, the observatory has this very delicate line work in it to get that, just to get like that vibe of, it's Tron-like to me, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's lit up. So you've got this, the spaceport where all the lines are lit up. God, Steve, just an amazing job. We're so honored to get this paint job. And I want to show the cities because the cities he did so basically the cities are lit up in this starry way, but they also are lit up from the baseline. Like he did that on purpose to sort of indicate that like they've turned the lights on from a certain point to light up. It's so amazingly done. I'm gonna have so much fun playing with this set. I'm not gonna keep it in a vault because I play my games. I don't sleeve them, or I'm just gonna play the hell out of Andromeda's Edge now with this amazing set of miniatures. And Chris says, what did he use? A toothpick. I mean, seriously, it's intricate. It's extremely intricate. I would never be able to do that.
Yeah, you would. You could
I could figure it out if I studied how to paint and I took classes from Steve. That's what I could do.
What everyone might not know is that the very early prototypes of games are usually Peter slapping paint on things.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I should show a post in Andromeda's Edge of all the prototypes that I did. What I would do is I went down to my local, hardware store and I got spray paints and I bought lots of like rulers and I would tape them onto rulers. I would go away from the office, not far enough away as it turns out, because the chemical smell of all these things, but I would go into an alley, spray into a box, spray these minis, then come back in, go, oh no, it needs more gold. And I would, oh God, it took me forever to make 20 prototypes of Andromeda's Edge.
Yeah, I just posted a video on Monday of painting the Flamecraft minis again, just like some extra footage that I had. And there's a shot of me spray painting, and I have this literal ruler that I taped up, and you can see that I took it outside, and then I'm just sort of spraying, and I definitely caught the edge because I don't have a garden. I literally just have like a brick wall at the front of my house, and I'm just like, oh no, I got gray on it. That's not my brick wall. Never mind.
I've done that before.
Oh no.
Okay, so you know that ruler thing, right? I found out there's a company, well, I think Citadel, that makes all these paints. They actually make a little gun that has like a rubber banded, basically you could hold something like a ruler and hold a mini in it with these rubber bands. Very, very effective, actually.
Yeah. I've seen those because they definitely fell off when I was like, yeah, it's not the most effective system, but underneath there is a lovely metal ruler that will never come out because I cannot be bothered to clean it, the stickiness.
No, you don't. Yeah, basically my set of school rulers are all different colors depending on what I'm painting. So like for Flamecraft, they were certain colors, and then for Andromeda's Edge, they've been painted over and over.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
Yeah, what else? So those were really great. Thank you for everybody who interacts in our Facebook groups, whether you're posting a comment like that, whether you're asking a question or sharing a picture. Like, we love to see that. That's why we're making games. We're making games literally for you to hear how it's going. If you're confused, we want to know that so we can help make better games. If you're like in love with the game and you're having fun with your family, then mission accomplished. As far as I'm concerned, we love to hear that. It helps us dig in and make more games, honestly, because if people are saying, oh, I like this, keep going, then we do. We do keep going.
What about this one?
Oh, look at that.
So Elizabeth in our group makes costumes for the plush and also takes them all over the world. I'm very jealous of how well traveled these dragons are. And I think someone said make like a pet rock for the dragon, and so she did.
That's cute. A pet rock. That's great.
It's so cute.
Oh God, I can't wait to show everybody the rock creatures that are in Flamebound. There's going to be some really fun things we got to still talk about.
That's not even. Oh no, I do know about those. It's just been a while.
Yeah. We're gonna go over so many fun.
There's only one that has my heart, and it's not the rock creatures.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to that then as well. But thank you, Elizabeth, for posting those. I think that it's a fun relationship between Elizabeth and Sendara, where Sendara will draw something and Elizabeth will like, oh, that's going to be difficult for me to recreate, but hold on a second, I got this. And then Elizabeth will make something and then Sendara will be like, maybe I'll draw that into the next drawing. It's very funny.
It's not a frog.
It's not a frog. No.
I'm still working on Sendara's sort of affinity with frogs, and eventually she'll just naturally start putting frogs everywhere. But I'm just working on it. Okay, give me some time.
Yeah. By the way, I love this. Thank you for remembering that I painted the bread dragons for the prototypes. Yeah. I used to do a live stream where I painted the very first minis I ever painted was Mission Catastrophe characters, and I basically had no idea what I was doing. Those were the sloppiest looking things I've ever done. The Flamecraft dragons were one notch up from that sloppiness because I had seen how that went. And I was like, okay, I think I can do better.
I still have like the half finished ones.
Oh yeah, look
looking around because I made a set and then
that's so cute.
But they're around, and then I love it when they look like this. They're really cool.
That's
I need to find time to finish that one. But we do have one last picture from Joe.
What does Joe have? Oh, look at that. That is so fun.
So Joe takes pictures of Flamecraft and other games, but I feel like it's mostly Flamecraft, which is awesome. And he's an Instagrammer, and he took this picture, which of course everyone was like, how do I get all these cool things
in there? Spacecraft is in the center. That's when the dragons have gone onto a very Enterprise-like bridge and are trying to figure out the buttons. That's that is actually not only a Flamecraft promo, but it is a faction in Andromeda's Edge. You could play that faction of Flamekeepers in space, but then some people are like, wait, but I want the Flamecraft card. How do I get the Flamecraft card? Well, it came in every edition of All In Andromeda's Edge, and now what is the future of that card? Well, we're going to put it into a bundle on the Flamecraft Duels Kickstarter, so that if you now we have some loose ones, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to put in the bundle first. That way you could see if you want the bundle. The bundle's going to have every past promo in it. Now, if you have almost every past promo and you're like, I just want the spacecraft, maybe you wait after Duels. We'll have the single copies left while supplies last. But then we're going to have it in the bundle from now on, so that all past promos go into one bundle. We have some good questions coming up, by the way. But yeah. Part of Joe's photo reminds me to talk about how in the Duels campaign, promos are coming. Not like all the past promos, plus you have all the new promos, and those are going to be separated. So if you're just looking for the past stuff, you get that. If you're looking for the new stuff, aka Dragons and Dragons, you could get that, which is going to have so many fun things in it. I can't even with the Dragons and Dragons stuff. Dropping in for a couple minutes is Luke Laurie. Excellent. Luke, thank you so much. Luke has been helping us test Duels in our Discord because, well, he's been helping us do development of late.
I also love his YouTube picture. That must be a convention, and he looks tired.
That is a convention picture, 100%. That looks like Kubla Khan circa whatever year that was.
It's like it's sort of like, is it like an end of a rock show kind of?
Yeah, that's how the conventions feel sometimes. Actually, we just figured out that Luke and Chris and I are going to go back to Kubla Khan at the end of May to get a lot of playtesting done of some of our latest games, and also we're going to be testing Luke and Maximus have come up with Andromeda's Edge Genesis. One of the other things that we have talked about a little bit on this stream, but we're going to be starting to talk a lot more about what Genesis is when we talk about testing Andromeda's Edge, the latest factions. Oh, I've got faction art to show you from the latest stuff that Sergio is cooking up on Genesis. It's going to be so exciting. But we're going to have that in Discord, and then we're going to take that to a couple shows, the first of which is going to be Kubla Khan, which is
we have so many questions. I'm going to start.
Okay, good. Let's get to questions.
We have to be fast now.
Scramble forever.
Okay, so Adam is asking about the backs of the cards, and this is such an interesting question because basically there are multiple versions of Flamecraft which have been printed, so there isn't actually one to necessarily match. So that's
something we learned on Flamecraft, which Flamecraft has had now, I want to say over 10 print runs, possibly 12 or so print runs, and what we learned was the Kickstarter print run, which was number one, we had used something called, we didn't use a spot color. We had a blend. Sandar painted a background for the town. That turned out to be a terrible idea when you're doing lots of print runs, because what happens is the printer cannot get that exactly the same from print run to print run. But as it turns out, as they printed number one and they were trying to match to number one, eventually they were trying to match to number 6. And we realized that if we made a promo that worked for number 1, it wouldn't work for number 6. If we made a promo for 5, it wouldn't work for 6. So we switched around print run number 6 or 7 to a Pantone spot color that is the same exact. Now we lose a little bit of her watercolor effect when we do that, but we gained consistency from print run number 6 onward. The difficulty that we have now is there is no way to print a shop that every single customer will have exactly the right color, no matter what we do. So we're going to, what we've said is luckily that it doesn't entirely matter. I mean, once you have enough promos, first of all, once you have enough promos, there's enough browns, you're like, I don't know which one that is. But also you could deal off the bottom. If it really bugs you, you could deal off the bottom of the deck, and then you get a surprise that way. The other thing that we're doing on some of our new promos is that, like, for example, the spacecraft comes into play right away and has a different back on purpose so that it doesn't get confused at all. And I think we're going to be looking into sleeves eventually. We're not doing sleeves yet, but we will eventually look into a way that if someone wants the same backs, they could get the same backs. This is something we've considered. This is a problem that you don't have if the game only gets one print run, but you do have if the game goes to Barnes & Noble and Target and is printed in 27 countries around the world. It is a nice problem to have, I suppose, that the game is that popular and we want to keep making promos, but we do understand that it's a little awkward with the whole, like, I know that one's the rare medium. So what we'll try and do is do the best job we can with the promos that we're going to be printing in this pack. And the thing about the promos also is that small runs tend to also change color faster or more often than a big run. So if a lot of people back duels, if we get a lot of Dragons and Dragons copies made, maybe we could get that color consistency over that run and try and match the best we can to the copies that are out there. Yeah. Thank you very much. This is one of the, now fascinatingly, and I don't know how much people care about like learning all the ins and outs of publishing, but when this problem happened, and I did not know how big of a problem it was until I saw a Barnes & Noble copy and the back was almost completely different. When this problem happened, we've started to make adaptations in our future games. One of those, which is really interesting, is in Critter Kitchen, because we have a card that comes in the expansion called Break Time. But if we printed that card in the expansion, then someday people would be able to tell if they bought the base game, if they're purple cards, they would be like, oh, that's your Break Time card. And we could not have that because unlike the shops in Flamecraft, it is absolutely critical in Critter Kitchen that no one knows what you're doing. So we decided to print the Break Time card at the exact same time as all the other cards on purpose. That has another little fun thing that happens, which is that everybody who buys a base game and doesn't buy the expansion is like, why do I have this card? I don't need this card. This card has nothing to do with my game. But we did that on purpose because we were trying to make sure gameplay did not suffer from those kind of color things.
For if you are very good at spotting the backs of cards and know what's what, then you can draw from the bottom when it comes to the shop cards.
That is the solution. Yeah.
So just like do it that way. Though I literally couldn't possibly remember.
I don't worry about it unless there's a game where it literally absolutely matters that I don't know what that card is.
Yeah.
And there are very few times where that's the case. Like, for example, the Zoo Chef deck, but in Critter Kitchen, there's slight variances between the expansion, the base, and the promos, right? But if I knew that the panda was coming up next, it really would not change my game. Like, it just doesn't. Yeah. So I don't think that one is as critical. But if a rumor card looked different, I would be like, flip the table. I now know what that rumor is. And it's supposed to be secret, meaning like we can't have that. Yeah. So we printed all the rumors in one deck and we didn't put any rumors in the expansion at all because of that exact problem. So
absolutely. But Beatrice asks, once we've filled out our playtesting application, what are the next steps? So there is a way to playtest our games, for those that don't know what that means. So we are currently running playtesting for the extra stuff that's coming for Flamecraft. There's some expansion stuff we're working on, along with Flamecraft Duels, which has just started playtesting. And also, I believe you've just started Genesis playtesting as well.
Almost. We're almost. We've set the channel up and we're about to go. There's Gamma next week, so I think that it's going to kick to March.
You're just getting them excited.
We're like, it's about to happen. And the thing about the playtest form that Rosie made is a way for us to figure out if you what region you're in, and if you've got Steam, and if you've got TTS, if you've played Flamecraft before, if you played Andromeda's Edge before. So we get all that data first, then I'm the bottleneck. Sometimes I got to like give you a role in Discord and put you on a different sheet. And like, so don't worry if you haven't get picked yet, because we have hundreds of people who have like submitted, and I'm adding people in to playtests as soon as I can. A lot of times someone will write to me and say like, why have I not been picked yet? And then I find out they filled out their form like 5 minutes ago. So just give me a minute. But we're going to get everybody who wants to test games into test games. We really appreciate that. That's like one of the neatest things. Now, if you don't like looking at games when they're rough and they're like the art sometimes is half in there and cards are like not done, if like that's not your jam, then don't look. But if you don't mind, then it's kind of a fun sneak peek at looking at a game before the game.
Yeah.
You get to brag that you saw it before it was cool.
If you filled it in and you don't have TTS and you don't have Steam, you don't have Discord, all those things, then at present we aren't able to facilitate playtesting for you because that's how we run it. But if you filled it in and you're like, oh, but I do want to do those things, go get TTS and sort out Steam and Discord, and then just message us or add us on the Discord and say, hey, I now have these things, and then we can add you. But basically, there's a lot of people who just want to do it in person, which we would love to do, but at present we're not doing.
If you have not heard from me, it means one of three things. One is I haven't gotten into it yet. That's very likely. Two, you said you don't have Steam or TTS and you've never played a game, and that I might put you like, okay, I need to put that category into, okay, maybe I need to teach you how to like TTS works and everything else like that. And that's on a slower, it's a back burner. No offense to anyone, but of course we're trying to like accommodate the people who have ready to go. And the third one is, if I can't find your Discord name because you've mistyped it, I swear that there are some people who I have not picked only because I type their name in and they're not there. So those could be someone who like was interested one day and left, and so I leave those off. And if you bug me, if you go, wait a minute, I wasn't picked yet, then of course I will find you.
Yep. It's not the most automated system yet. It's still people pressing buttons.
It is important to say that we are still a small company. We have no. We have a lot of games cooking at once. I did also, someone said, oh, these duels tests are not at the time that I'm awake, which is fair. We also have very US based demo team, development team. And we're trying to do different times of the day and night, and we're going to be as accommodating as possible. Of course, when we get to a Kickstarter, I will tell anyone who's watching the stream and doesn't know how this works, we have very, very infrequent testing when it's like development period. But when we get to Kickstarter period, boy, do we like fire all the hoses. We actually let anyone who wants to launch the game. We open up the link and people play on their own. They invite friends, they go off our Discord, they stay on our Discord, they ask questions. It's like there's phases. This is a top secret phase. We try and invite as many people in. If anyone can manage to sync up exactly the right times as our team and can do so 3 times, we put your name in the rule book because we really love the input. So Thank you everybody for that.
Any other playtesting questions, just ask in the Discord. That's the best way to do it because we're there all the time. If you hear a duh in the background of this live, it's Discord.
We had tests today. Like actually, Manny ran duels to test today. I'm actually running Flamecraft Duels tomorrow. So it's like we have, and then Chris Strain is running some, and Luke ran some on Wednesday. So we're like lots of different tests going on. Ellie says, someone challenged me at duels. Thank you for testing, Ellie.
I've heard you're hard to beat, so maybe not.
Actually, Sandara just said that she played Manny at duels, which makes me very excited because you don't always get the artist to say, I want to play the game, but Sandara's like, I'm going to challenge Manny. And then I think Manny swept the floor with her, which was, she'll be back though for a rematch. And probably if she plays me, then she'll feel better about her skills.
Same. Have we had any confirmed US fulfillment yet for Critic Kitchen?
Has anyone in the US gotten a copy? I don't know.
I mean, it just started on the 11th, so if
I believe somebody has to have gotten it, but I don't know that I've seen a actual. I'm in the US and I got it. I'm actually going to put something on Facebook today that says, are you in a country that tell me if you've received it, because I want to have like a fun country list, because today I think I saw was it Poland, Romania? No, I saw there was like 2 or 3 more countries that I had not seen gotten it. I don't think I've seen someone like flat out say like United States, go. So I don't know that we have one yet, or at least I don't know that we have one in our Facebook group.
I just heard that Maldito Games is going to get a stand at Mega XP in CDMX this year. Do you know if they're going to have Cardboard Alchemy things?
Maldito is our Spanish partner for Flamecraft, for Andromeda's Edge, and for Critter Kitchen. So they actually are a huge partner of ours. Now, I believe they definitely should have Flamecraft because they've printed it several times, and they are. I believe their Andromeda's Edge should actually be here any time now because they translated all of Andromeda's Edge into Spanish. And so I'm excited because all those companies we partnered with, a French company and a Polish company that's both Lucky Duck, we partnered with Frosted in Germany and Maldito in Spain. And a lot of those are coming this quarter, so this quarter or early next quarter. So if I have a feeling they're going to be showing Andromeda's Edge. Now, I think Critter Kitchen is going to be like a long shot for them to show because they translated it after us, and I don't think it's been at print yet. So, but they might have like a early box or something.
I definitely recommend reaching out to them because we don't get all the information they're taking shows. So after they've taken it,
they run the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the perks of having this partnerships is that we do not have to know how it's like. I love hearing how it's going in Spain and France. Like our partner in France, which is Lucky Duck Games, they tell me like, oh, I'm going to the Cannes Festival, which I think is this month. And they're so excited that they have Andromeda's Edge. And they're so excited that they have like a sample of Critter Kitchen. So
are you planning on releasing small amounts of Flamecraft Duels content over the next 2 months? Yes. 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 I just want to be like
on it.
Yes, I mean there will be constant like weekly art reveals as we will be continuing to do that. Also, make sure that you're in the Flamecraft Facebook group because we have some fun things going on in terms of like getting you guys involved, which is really good. But yes, there will be
let's see, there's going to be art reveals. There will be a plushie reveal. There will be a teaser trailer for Duels. We can't wait. There's gonna be so many fun things. The other thing about Duels too is if I tried to tell Rosie that not to share it, I would not succeed because he's a huge Flamecraft fan right here. So
I've actually filmed a video telling the Cozy Board Games audience, and I've had to be like, they didn't ask me to, but you have to know because I don't know if TikTok know. Also, just a note, Squirt said, let's talk about Flamecraft Duel. Well, it is actually Duels.
There we go. Got it. There you go. It's Duel.
There it is. And it's interesting because we've had people going, oh, is it another 2-player version of the game? And it's not. It's completely new gameplay. It's puzzly, it's pattern matching, and it is a 2-player game set in the same universe of Flamecraft, but it's not a 2-player version of Flamecraft. It is a different.
I do think that will be a common misconception until people see the Kickstarter page, and then you will not be confused anymore because we're going to tell you how Flamecraft Duels plays. It is a pun from Manny Vega, who happens to love puns more than anything. And he was like, oh, I love this new trend to do duels. I'm going to do Duels, which is 2 different dragon types mashed together, which is fun. And then those dual dragons are going back to Flamecraft with new powers, and they're called High Dragons, as we mentioned. So it's this duality. The whole thing is really fun. The part of it that I latched onto originally is, if we're going to make this 2-player game with duality in it, can we also make it, because I was thinking about how, if it's a couples game or you're playing like you want it on the go. So we decided to make Duels a travel friendly like experience, like a small box game that you can run around with.
Yeah.
So Duels is not the typical Duels, but we will see how many people, some people want a compact Flamecraft also, but I do think this is going to be fun to have it be a brand new game. It's not the same game, and I think it's a lot quicker, so you could get like a fast game on the go, which is fun.
Toshiro Soul says, so excited for the new Flamecraft game. Also, when is Critter Kitchen coming to retail? I missed the Kickstarter, unfortunately.
When is it coming?
So Lucky Duck Games will be doing that in April.
April is the month. I know. I told them that they could go anytime we have to get all our Kickstarter backers their copy, which I believe we're going to be able to do by April 1st. And I told them then go spread the game to the wind. I saw on one retailer's site that they listed April 4th, so maybe it's going to be like early April for some regions. But keep in mind, and we had this question come up on Andromeda's Edge, it does not mean because we've said April that it gets to stores because sometimes the US takes 2 weeks to get to the distribution center, and then the Canada ones take another month to get to the distribution center. So it could be like April or May or June. I know that Critter Kitchen will be a like summertime. We're going to be having it everywhere. Hopefully, we'll take it to cons in the summer. We'll hopefully see it at Gen Con. I think a lot of people at Gen Con will be finding it for the first time. So I think April will just be the beginning of that. Now,
also, I will just say that whenever I talk about a game that's just been kickstarted and then it does come to retail eventually, that is usually the leftover of like a print for some companies. So if you ever go, oh, I can't wait for it to be in shops, some shops will do pre-orders and then sell out. So just keep an eye on certain shops. If they're doing pre-orders, that might be all of the stock they've ordered, and then you'll have to wait for another print run. So if you really want it, pre-order from shops that are doing that.
That is true, because I will say that for Andromeda's Edge, for example, it went to backers starting in August, September, October, and then retail was going to have it on November 15th, except all the copies were spoken of because people were freaking out about Andromeda's Edge, which was very nice. But then all of a sudden, the shops had the very limited stuff, and now they're all out. They're ordering more, but of course, so yeah, you want to keep your eye on that. I was also going to say that this is not necessarily the way you want to go, but just to be open and honest with everybody. But we are also going to have deluxe at the tail. So the way the order will go is we'll get everything to backers. Retail will begin. We'll go ahead and put all the extras in our store when we have the bandwidth to do so. And then the deluxe copies will be in our shop. But that's longer to wait than retail. So you can decide what you want to do, but if anybody does want the deluxe, it will be coming back eventually when we figure out how many we have left.
Yep. But thank you for the excellent question. Any chance for a big box solution for Flamecraft?
Big box Flamecraft. I'm
trying to work out, is it still fits at this point, unless
but we're gonna blow that wide open.
So are you saying that with whatever extra stuff that we add, it will need?
No, I'm saying that what I'm really trying to do is everything that goes in duels, or I'm not saying that you're going to necessarily want to take everything out of Dragons and put it into your Flamecraft box, because Sandar is going to make the cutest Dragons and Dragons thing ever. But if you do, it should still fit. I think at this point we're not over, but here's where the big box may become important someday, is that we're making miniatures for Flamebound, and we might make a series four miniatures for Flame. If we start making too many little doodad products, I have a feeling that some people will be like, can I just have like a display that puts all the minis and coins and things together? And my answer would be, I hope we get there. I don't have a yes yet, because of course there has to be enough interest and demand and reason to keep going. And I think we're headed towards all the things. I would love to see a big box someday, but we have to see what happens.
As someone in a London flat.
I mean, yes, there's a certain commitment. Like there was a point where Board Game Co. said, you know what I want? I want a little miniature of every single Flamecraft dragon that's on a card. And I was laughing at that time going, we'll never do that. And then we made miniatures of Loaf and Hot Dog. And now I'm like, maybe we have to do it.
I love Faith's comment here. No fear, Rosie will of course do an unboxing video for all the new stuff. Well, what you don't know is behind the scenes, Peter is sending me short videos of how to put everything in the box, and I watch through them all to make sure it's exactly how we planned it. So luckily it's not just me. Peter also has to fit it in the box.
There's a lot of behind the scenes things. We had to make a guide for the retailers, which not just the retailers, but like the fulfillment centers that goes over every single piece that is in the game in case there's a replacement. So if we need to replace somebody's, carrot number 7. We need to tell them that picture guide was, that was so much work. But it was also like kind of a joy to go through every piece of the game and go, oh, we made this and that and these tokens and stuff. So
thank you, Faith. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, Rosie makes the best unboxing videos
I
out
will
there.
say that you're really good at fitting everything. Are you good at like those puzzles where you have to fit everything in something? Because I was like, this is the best way to rebox this. And you went, no, this is the best way to rebox this. I was like, how do you you just naturally good at fitting everything in a box?
I think that this comes with the owning many games category. Like I have had boxes with no tray, and you do the best you can. I've had boxes with a tray that doesn't fit. I think there's and the company knows this, so I hope I'm not calling them out. But like River of Gold, they know the tray doesn't work, but I still was like, oh, I could do this. I could do it. You know what I mean? So it is a puzzle for sure sometimes because, a lot of companies actually don't make this possible. I think, for example, it would be very likely to say, we could have said everybody has to keep all of their extra content in this box and you can't get it in this box. But then I was like, why? No, we're going to make it possible to get it in this box.
Can you name, I'm thinking of a game where they're the worst culprit for that. Can you think of it? There's a game where they were like, the space in the main one is spacious, but there's a massive insert, and then they released an expansion which was equally as just like, you just got to have both. It's not even that big a game. I bet in the comments they'll figure it out.
I've actually had this in a couple of ways. One is you don't want to combine games because the game does worse sometimes with the expansion. Like, for example, I have combined some, and then I go teach a new group that game, and I go, I should probably not teach you with the expansion, but now it's integrated and I can't tell what's what. So then I like to keep those in their own box. But like for Critter Kitchen, hopefully we've made it so that pink and green and carts are all intuitive enough that you can like either play with them or you don't play with them, and it's not that bad. But it does make it difficult to decide if you're going to design a game for future content or not. One thing that I think is backfiring on us just a tiny bit is that we put 2 extra meeple slots in the cart, in the meeple tray, and people now think they're missing meeples and are writing our customer service department and saying, I didn't get all of the meeples, which I was like, oh no, that didn't work. I was just trying to make a little bit more room for the future.
You can't win. I was thinking of the game Splendor. That's what I was thinking
of.
Splendor,
yes.
Where like there's this huge insert and I've actually got a 3D printed box where the whole game fits in it. And then they did an expansion that was the same size as the other box.
Yeah.
And I just took the whole insert out and chucked it all in the one box. And I was like, it's a small game.
If you ever do manage to get the entire thing in the main box, then you have the other dilemma, which is, do you then throw this out? I mean, you know what I mean?
I've kept everything that you have sent me. Well. I still have the plastic like seal bits for the minis, just in case you go, we need the thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
I've got it. So yeah. Okay, we've got 10 more minutes. There's a bunch of questions. So I feel like I know this name.
Yes, I believe so. Well, that is a very good question, and it depends on a couple of factors. We are working towards launching it later this year, but we have to get certain things done to make that possible. And so we just had a really good meeting yesterday with Manny and Sandara, and we were talking about timeline. And as soon as we can commit to a date, we are going to commit to a date. But we cannot commit to a date because it's a big one. That's a very big one. So we are juggling things around. We're going to see how this year goes. We are hoping to launch this year, but we'll have to like keep everybody posted. Hopefully you'll come back for more details, or Manny will just tell you.
Will there be deluxe minis available for Flamecraft in the bundles?
Oh, that's interesting. So that was not planned on this Kickstarter, and I'll tell you why. Because the miniatures are available right now in stores and on our web store, on our shop. So we don't think they need to be in the Kickstarter because they are already available. That could change if I feel like, well, I'll talk to Brad about it, and we'll talk about whether or not there is not some availability that's not there. But I believe right now anybody who wants the miniatures can get the miniatures. So now,
Excellent.
yeah, so we're going to keep those out of it, I think. We're going to also keep following that same train of logic. You can get yellow, red, purple, and blue plush in our store. So we're not going to put those on the Kickstarter because you can already get them. Stuff like that.
Will there be every promo after the last Kickstarter as a bundle?
Every single promo that has been done up until 2025 is going to be in one single bundle. So yes, this includes the alternate starter shops. This includes Spice Tower, Flame Starter Statue, Rare Medium, the Stuff the Magic Dragon, Cosmic Scale, Lucky Lake, and the Dice Tower Artisans, although we're renaming them, come up with fun new names for those characters. I believe that is all the, and the Spacecraft, right? All of the promos that have been done previously in one bundle. And then there's going to be new stuff, which is going to be great.
Okay. I'm trying to get through all these. Will it have a single player? I assume they mean duels. Will it have a single player variant?
That is one of our first games that, in fact, I believe it will be our first game that does not have a single player variant because it is specifically designed for only one player count, and that is 2 people, which is very funny to me because it's like the least player count that I ever play personally because I love 3 player. Rosie plays a lot of 2. Manny plays a lot of 2. Obviously, Luke and Alex and Peter, and Luke and Maximus play a lot of 2. So I know there's people out there who want 2-player. I also know that people who want single player. We will definitely work on making sure that the next Flamecraft game is single player for that reason. So,
okay. Will duels be language independent?
Oh, that's such a good question. Now I know this is very important to Miho, especially wanting to get a different language for living in Switzerland. Always looking for a French copy. I do think that the Kickstarter, first of all, is for English. However, this is our most language independent game of all time. There is one reference card that tells you the powers to fire, and all of the tokens don't have language. So I think it is totally playable in English. However, we are going to, as usual, partner with Lucky Duck to make a French copy. And so after the Kickstarter, we will do the same thing we always do and look for partners, and there will be a French version eventually. There'll be a Spanish version eventually, but it is so close to language independent. Like, this is as close as we get. There are cards in the game that are we're working on like a bonus mode where you can play fancy dragons, which will have text, but those are largely going to be public text. There's no secret information in duels. So even if you are like, oh, I think I can play in English, but my friend doesn't speak as much English as I do, everything's public information. So there isn't any moment in duels where you're going to have to hide something from your from someone else. And the one things that you are going to have to hide in duels don't have any language on them. So it's fine. It's all good. Great question, though.
Oh, will the Flamecraft exclusives return in a future campaign? I'm holding out for the exclusives. I don't know which ones they particularly mean specifically, but we are bringing back the Art of Flamecraft book. So that's...
So yeah, if you're talking about... So the only thing that was like... We didn't do exclusives per se. What we did was... we did do some things that were only going to be in Cardboard Alchemy shops or while supply... Like things that were limited to Kickstarter or Cardboard Alchemy. So if you're talking about that kind of stuff, that includes like this Spice Tower, which is a promo card. The Spice Tower is now going to be in this bundle. Again, it will not be going to retail. It'll be coming back for Flamecraft Duels into a promo pack. That promo pack, if we have any extras, will go onto our store. So this is the moment to get those past things. If you're talking about things like the fancy dragon pin that we made on the first Kickstarter, that's probably not... That's we also have some on our shop, actually. Yeah, so you can already get that one. If you're talking about the Art of book, like Rosie mentioned, then that one was it was only one print run, but we didn't say it was exclusive. We just we didn't really have the demand to run it again, and now we feel like the demand is built up, and we're going to put it back in duels, and we're going to run the art book one more time. The art book is gorgeous. Sindara poured so much time into that, and she really goes over the process of how she created this and that. And we have little puns, and we have stories and little poems. There's lots of fun things in the art book.
Some people have asked, will it be exactly the same, or will there be new content in it?
We're going to make it exactly the same. And the reason for that is we would hate for anyone who had the original art book to feel like, wait, this has one more page in it. We did think about how we could obviously go over a lot more stuff, but this is important to make sure that we don't have the original backers feel like, oh, my art book it's trash now. There's a new art book. It's going to be one art book.
Many people asking about it. They're like,
we have a second print indicator. We haven't decided anything like that. We could put a second print run indicator on there.
Does it have like the date and everything? I guess it was printed.
We could put a date, or we could put Sindara could put something on there. But if we do too much, then someone will say, "I want that new page that has a new date on it."
Yeah.
It happens.
New bits can go in the Flamebound art book.
There you go.
We'll see. I love it.
This summer is going to be a fun. I saw there was a question too from Axel about when do the puzzles start for Flamebound. Of course, there's going to be puzzles for Flamebound. There's going to be a lead up to Flamebound, of which will be our usual fun interactive things, and we'll be asking you what merch you want for Flamebound, because this Duels is a very controlled, small character, but Flamebound, of course, is open-ended and wild and crazy. So we are open to hearing what are the things that you would like to do. What kind of things do you want to do for Flamebound? We want all the merch. I see that comment.
Will Sindara ever come to the US and meet fans?
Oh, that is such an exciting question, because I have been asking Sindara this question year after year. I actually tried to get her to a convention in November of last year because I thought it was the closest I could possibly get her, which was the CMON Expo in Thailand. I almost got her there, right? I was like, come on, let's do it together. And she was very tempted. It was like bad timing for her son's school year. I was so close. But Sindara she's been made it now. She's going to have a very big year. For everyone who has not heard, she is making a game with the op, which Manny designed, called T-Witches. T-Witches is releasing at Gen Con. So there is already talk about what if Sindara went to Gen Con, and she's aware of this what if pondering, and she's thinking probably, what if I went to a convention? Let me just tell you what would happen to me if she ever went to a convention. I would flip out. I would be like, I would be in line, even if I didn't, like, I work here now, so I don't have to wait in line, but I would be in line because
I want to film that. It's just you lining up to get something signed. I'm like, what are you doing?
Because I have, she was very kind to sign something for me. One year I told her about how I really loved one of her art prints, and she signed it. And I was just like, it's hanging up in my house, and I really love it. It's just such an honor. So I think that it would be amazing if we could, everybody go to her Instagram right now and say on the Venus post, hi Sindara, if you ever come to a convention like Gen Con, I would love to see you.
A year in advance. Ooh, good to know.
Well, I can't say that that's going to be true. Because, you know, these things get planned kind of late sometimes, but
yeah,
we are talking.
I will tell you that Peter C. Hayward's going to be at UK Games Expo, which is in about like a few months. So if you want to meet one of the designers of Critic Kitchen, it's going to be there. Yeah.
It's very funny. I've had Brad at a convention one time where like he designed Letter Tycoon, and people would come up to him and say, "Can you sign the box?" And he's like, "Why? Like why do you want that?" And it's like, Brad, they're like, this is exciting. Like it is. Yeah. I have a couple signed boxes. I went and got Ignacy Cheswick to sign my copy of Imperial. Was that not Imperial Settlers? I'm forgetting the name now. But basically, I've got games signed by Tate and other, you know, games where you're like, oh, that's so much more precious. I think of a Ryan Lockett signed one on my shelf as well.
Oh, same. Yeah, he
And
drew me. Awesome.
I would love eventually to get the artist. Like, I'd love to do that same thing for artists because I have a lot of favorite artists, and I do have the prints from BGG on the walls here at the office. The artist series that they do is really fun.
Yes, at least it was. It's really, and I've never been asked to sign anything because as a content creator, what would I do? Sign their phone? Like it's just
Yeah,
a
right.
weird thing.
Yeah, you're gonna
But
say
I am
cozy
working on
board
a
games for life.
charity. I'm working on a charity board game at the moment where all the profits will go towards rescue dogs and cats. And they're like, oh, you can sign games. And I went, I have never. Do I give my actual legal signature? Do I have to come up with a signature that's not my legal signature? Like,
here's one of the difficulties that I have signing games is that Brad's very clever. And so, for example, when Brad would sign Letter Tycoon, he would use the following phrase, like use your words, which I thought was a very fun way to say like a phrase that people have said before and as applicable to the game. And so I was like, oh, I need a clever phrase when I'm signing Andromeda's Edge. And I'm like, I have nothing. What am I saying here? Go to space? I like, what am I going to say? So I have to work on my own.
I have a catchphrase. It's just want to play, but it's at the end of videos.
Yes, you do that every video, right?
Not every video. Sometimes it doesn't work. It feels really cheesy sometimes, and I don't do it. Addie's like, I'd love if you sign my Lily card. It feels like Sindara should be signing it. feels like Sindara should sign every card. But yeah.
If you make a cookie, Rosie will have frosting, right?
If you bring frosting, I will sign you.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mark. Now I'll use that to the edge and beyond. There you go.
Just sign with a potion bottle.
I have started drawing little potion bottles, by the way, because I do like the potion bottle. So I've started drawing. I sign my name and I draw a little potion bottle. So that's my thing.
I should just draw a frog on everything.
There you go.
That's what I should do.
By the way, I will be telling everybody the moment I get a confirmation if this is happening. 100%. I can do it no sooner than that, but the minute that I know, we will be telling everybody. Please, spread the word too to help us out.
Yeah, I'll just make a video that's like, Sindara's coming, go.
Yeah, right.
But don't intimidate her, okay?
No, everyone be cool. Be cool about it.
Cool, guys. Because we wanted to come back.
Yes. We wanted to come to lots of shows. In fact, what I'd also love to do is get her to Essen as well, because that'd be a fun show.
Is that further away from Singapore? My geography is terrible. So
I don't think it would be further away. I think it would be closer.
We've done it. It's an hour zoomed.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we've had a fun time and chatted about a lot of things. If you have a question that did not get answered, we're here for you. You could ask it in this YouTube and we'll try and put it on next week's chat. You can go to our Facebook groups. We have one for Critter Kitchen and Flamecraft and Andromeda's Edge. And you can go to our Discord because we're also there. We're chatting. We're playing games. You can tell us about
and TikTok.
And sure, absolutely. You can go to our TikTok and watch all the videos that Rosie puts a video out every week on TikTok. They're very engaging to watch. She'll show you how to paint minis or whatever else, is going on. You'll be sharing Venus over there, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah.
And then come engage with us, especially like with Flamecraft Duels coming to Kickstarter in April. We want to hear from you. We're going to do fun things in the Facebook group. We're going to name some dragons too, because I know some of them still need a name. So help us out. Yeah. And thank you so much for joining us.
And the Duels campaign is linked below. So
excellent. Be sure to follow.
That's and notify. Yep. We're at 1,500 or nearly 1,500 followers, which is incredible. Yeah. There won't be a Facebook group, Axel, because we have the Flamecraft Facebook group. So it just makes sense to tell.
Flamecraft, the Facebook group, becomes the universe. It's where we're going to talk about everything Duels. It's where we're going to talk about everything Flamebound. So we're going to use that one hub of artisan dragon loving awesomeness.
Yeah, so exactly. Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm going to go eat a steak.
What was that?
I'm going to go eat Valentine's steak.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day. Hope everyone has a nice weekend. We forgot to ask everyone's game that you're playing, but please come and tell us what game that you're playing.
Comment below what games we're playing for Valentine's Day.
There we go.
A bunch of people have already told me on Instagram they're playing Flamecraft. Someone posted a picture of them literally pointing at Flamecraft.
That's cute. All right. Thank you, everybody.